Hello my lovely viewers and welcome back to Hurricane Talks. So obviously I'm not in my dorm or in my room. I'm outside enjoying the beautiful day outside. But this video I wanted to make about the stories that I heard when growing up in Germany. So as you may know, I grew up in Germany and then I moved to the States. And I found there were a lot of differences between the stories that German children are told versus the stories that American children are told. So I'm going to tell you a couple of the ones, starting off, of course, the Christmas tales, and then going on to the story that gave me nightmares for years, and I'll tell you why it gave me nightmares. So, the first two stories, like I said, go to Christmas time. So, everyone's heard the story of St. Nicholas, or Santa Claus, and he would come and give you presents if you're good and coal if you're bad. Well, Germany's a little different. Yes, Santa Claus would come and give you presents if you were good. But if you were bad, he wouldn't give you coal. That's not his department. No, Santa Claus would just give you presents, but a demon named Krampus would come and kidnap you in his sack, bring you back to his castle, put you in his kettle, and boil you alive if you were naughty. So you should not be naughty in Germany. Another story was from the German region. I'm not sure if it's actually from Germany per se, but my family still celebrates it. It's St. Nicholas Day. So December 6th, the night before, you put out your shoes. And you can put little carrots or something like that in your shoes, which is not as recommended anymore. But you do that so when St. Nicholas came around, his horses, or his reindeer, his horses, had something to eat. Well, he gave you your presents if you were good. But if you were bad, you wouldn't get presents, and you wouldn't get coal. You will get switches. If you don't know what a switch is, you did not have a childhood with spankings in it. A switch is essentially a tree branch stripped of its leaves that parents would use to whack their naughty children's backsides. So if you were naughty, St. Nicholas would leave a switch for your parents to whack you with. So I tried very hard to be good when I was in Germany. I failed a couple times, cut my sister's hair and everything, but, you know, I did try to be good. The other story I have is not from Germany, but it is a Scandinavian tale, and I did hear of it. So it was a tale, forgive me, there's a whole bunch of gnats around here. If you were a good child, you get presents. But if you were bad, a demon woman would come and eat you alive in your own house. Wouldn't, kidnap you and take you to her castle or anything like that. Not like Krampus. No, she would just devour you in your own house, in your own bedroom, because you were being a naughty child. So obviously, don't be a naughty child or a demon will come and eat you. The last story that I have, the one that gave me nightmares for years when I was younger, is the tale of Hansel and Gretel. So a lot of you might know, Hansel and Gretel with the witches and everything. Yes. But imagine it with creepily realistic marionettes. Imagine that. So if you don't know what the story is, I will give you my quick version of events, because I like portraying it this way. So, depending on the area that you heard it from, there's different versions. A mom and a dad, or a stepmom and a dad, lived together in a little cottage. Now, the father was a woodcutter, and they had two little kids, a boy and a girl named Hansel and Gretel. So now, the woodcutter was kind of down on his luck. He wasn't earning a lot of money, and the mother or stepmother, depending on the version, was like, look at it, dude, we will not be able to feed our kids. We're going to have to do something about this. I would rather not see them starve to death in front of us. I'd rather take them out to the woods and just let them go there. Maybe a wolf will eat them, a bear will eat them, something like that. It'll be less painful than starving to death. So, the father finally concedes, but Hansel overheard this. So Hansel, of course, thinking, oh my gosh, our parents are going to leave us out there to die. I'm not going to worry my little sister who's asleep right now. So he goes outside. Excuse me, there's a ton of bugs here, to go find some stones. So he found a couple stones that were glowing in the moonlight, and he put them in his pocket and then went back to bed. The next morning, the parents woke them up and said, oh, we're going for a picnic in the woods. It's going to be wonderful. So they go outside, and they go through the woods, and the parents ask them, oh, you need to sit here while your father and I go and chop some wood. So the kids are sitting there, they're eating their food, having fun, but along the way, as they were going through the woods, Hansel had slowly dropped a stone every few steps, and he kept looking back to see if there were enough stones where he could see the trail. Forgive the interruption, people are being obnoxious. Anyways, so his mother or stepmother, again, depending on the version, kept watching this, saying that, oh, he's looking back. What are you looking at, little Hansel? Oh, I'm just looking at my little kitty cat. I'm just waving goodbye to my little kitty cat. And she's looking back there going, I don't see any cats. What are you talking about? Oh, no, I swear, she's right up there. She's on the roof. And Mom's like, oh, whatever. So they keep going, and then Mom and Dad leave them alone to go cut wood. When in reality, they're just going back home. And the father's there, and he's crying. And eventually, the two kids fall asleep because, they had a meal, they've been walking a lot, and they were little children. So they fell asleep, and they woke up, and it was completely dark. And now Gretel's terrified because she's in the woods, alone, with her brother at night. But the brother Hansel just, oh, no, don't worry, little sister. Follow the stones. Come with me, we'll follow the stones. So they go, and they follow the path of the stones, and they make their way home. And the father is rejoicing. The mother or stepmother pretends to be rejoicing, but takes the father aside after Hansel and Gretel were supposed to be asleep and tells him, we have to do this again. We have to find a way to get them to stay in the woods because we're not going to be able to feed them. And I really don't want to see them starve to death in front of us. Because we're already starving right now. We have to. So so Hansel, of course, hears this because he's a sneaky little child. And he tries to go outside to go pick up the stones again. But the doors are locked and he can't unlock the doors. So instead, he goes back to sleep and he has to try and think of how to get rid of this. So how to get away from this entire situation. So he spends the entire night thinking. The next morning, the parents wake them up and the parents give Hansel and Gretel each a piece of bread. So as they're walking along a different trail through the woods, Hansel is slowly breaking off pieces of bread and dropping behind him to leave a trail. The mother again, or stepmother again, watches him and says, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just waving goodbye to my little cat. I still don't see a little cat. So she goes off, and they keep going on, and, they stop again, have their lunch, and Hansel and Gretel fall asleep. Hansel, because he's absolutely exhausted from trying to stay up all night, trying to figure out how to get, back home. So, the parents go away, back to the home, and the father is absolutely devastated. Now Hansel and Gretel wake up, and Gretel is again terrified, but she trusts her big brother, because he's like, oh no, don't worry, I left another trail for us. And Gretel's like, oh, okay, I can imagine this, we can just follow the trail, right? They got up, the trail's gone, because all the birds in the woods had eaten up the breadcrumbs. So they're wandering around, trying to find this place, and finally, when light breaks, when the sun rises, they find this house. And it's not just an ordinary house. No, it's a house entirely made out of candy, gingerbread candy, and it's amazing. Oh my goodness. So Hansel and Gretel are absolutely starving at this time, so they start nibbling at the house. And of course, the owner of the house notices. And all of a sudden, these little kids who are just nibbling at this house hear, who's that nibbling at my house? Is that you? And this little mouse? Something along the lines of that. And she comes out and she finds the two children. And they're scared because they think, oh shoot, we were just destroying somebody's house and eating it. What is she going to do to us? But she's a kindly old woman. And she invites them in. Oh, don't eat my house. I have got plenty of food for you to come in here and eat. And the kids are like, oh, this is great. So she feeds them and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. We should just stay here forever instead of our parents who left us out there to die. And they think, this is going to be good. And then she asks Hansel, oh, could you help me with something, Hansel? I need you to come over here to this other room. And Hansel's like, yeah, of course, you fed us. Why not? So he does, and he follows this woman into this room where she promptly shoves him into a cage and locks it behind her, suddenly revealing she's not this kindly old woman anymore. Hang on. She's actually a witch. An evil, evil old crone-like witch. Gretel hears the door slam, and she's just terrified. She doesn't know what to do. Her big brother's now locked up. They're lost in the woods, and now they're trapped by this evil witch. Now, the evil witch decides that she's going to plump Hansel up. So she's feeding him lots of chicken and lots of meats to make him nice and lean and everything and make something good to eat. So Hansel is actually at this time getting really chubby because he's eating so much food. But each time the witch comes, he doesn't, stick out his actual finger when she wants to feel his finger to see how fat he's become. No, he sticks out a chicken bone. And because the witch is so farsighted, nearsighted, she can't see very well. Oh, I hate these little nuts. Anyways, and she thinks it's his finger. Gotta suspend reality for a little bit here. So she thinks it's his finger, and she gets, I can't do this. So eventually, after about a couple weeks of feeding him like this, she gives up and she says, no, forget this, I'm going to eat him now. So she takes little Gretel, who's been doing chores around her house like a slave, and she says, okay, little Gretel, I need you to help me with something. I need you to help me in the kitchen. I need you to go and make sure that the light of the oven is on. And little Gretel, she's pretty smart here. She realizes, oh shoot, she doesn't think that she's going to cook me alive. She's not going to try to make sure this. So she sits there and goes, oh, I don't know how to do that. I was never taught. My mom never taught me how to do that. And I was just, oh, come on, it's really easy. Just crawl in there and do it. She's like, oh, I don't know how to do this. You got to show me how to do this. I've never done this before. And the witch finally gets so exasperated that she says, just look at this. This is so easy. So she crawls into the oven, and Gretel slams the oven door shut on the witch, turns up the heat. So essentially she cooks the witch alive. She goes and she frees her older brother, and they go around the room while the witch is cooking alive, and they go around the entire house and they find all this gold and a donkey in the backyard as well, again, depending on which version you listen to. And they were able to load the gold onto the donkey and find their way back home. Now, the time that they had come back home, the mother or stepmother had passed away, and the father was all alone and lonely and crying because he thought that he had lost everything. But when he saw his children, he rejoiced. And when he saw that the money that they brought with them, he rejoiced even more because they could live happily together in the woodcutter's cottage as long as these children didn't spend their money frivolously. So, long story short, they all lived happily ever after, and it was wonderful. The reason why this story gave me nightmares as a child was because I kept imagining the witch, who, in the story time that I was taught, the version that I was shown, was a marionette. I kept having these dreams where the witch suddenly was a real person and I was a marionette, and it was horrifying. So those are my lovely stories from Germany. I have other ones, actual real tales, from Germany and from all the countries that I went to. But for a lot of these, you need to understand that I was a very imaginative child. I believed that fairies and trolls and dragons, everything were real. So, until next time, have a good day.